The French publication Le Monde emphasizes that among European leaders, confidential consultations have resumed regarding the possibility of sending troops from European countries to Ukraine to assist in ending the Russian-Ukrainian war, as is known, when French President Emmanuel Macron proposed the possible involvement of NATO member troops in the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, which occurred on the second anniversary of Vladimir Putin's major attack on our country. The French president's proposal would be met with significant opposition in European countries and even in the United States. Few agreed that there was justification for such radical measures. However, the election of Donald Trump as President of the United States changed everything. Many still expect that the newly elected US President will negotiate with Russian President Vladimir Putin regarding the terms for ending the war in Ukraine. However, few can explain what leverage Donald Trump should have over Vladimir Putin for the Russian president to truly abandon his ambitious imperialistic goals. The destruction of Ukrainian statehood with the annexation of territories of a neighboring state to the Russian Federation. Compared to his predecessor, Joe Biden, Donald Trump speaks a lot about the need to end Russia's war against Ukraine through an agreement with Putin. However, when it comes to the tools he has, they are not significantly different from those that Joe Biden had. And a situation may arise where Donald Trump's diplomatic efforts lead to a complete failure, and the new American president simply refuses further assistance to Ukraine. And then, of course, a critical situation will arise. Already now, no one understands what American assistance to Ukraine will look like in a situation where mentions of this assistance are practically absent in the new American budget. And the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, who has every chance of being re-elected to this position in the new session that will begin simultaneously with Donald Trump's return to the White House, has already emphasized that he has no appetite to fund Ukraine. The situation may change when Donald Trump realizes the reality of the situation he finds himself in as President of the United States. And this, of course, applies not only to Ukraine, but also to other conflicts that will arise during his time in the Oval Office. There is hope that the new American president will realistically assess the situation, and there is also an understanding that Trump may simply lose interest in the Russian-Ukrainian war as a conflict that will not allow him to feel like a peacemaker and will not enhance his reputation as a strong leader. And then, of course, the main burden of problems may fall on Europe. That is why French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer are discussing the possibility of creating a core coalition that will help Ukraine if Trump's United States simply abandons the role that America has played in the civilized world since World War II. And the likelihood of such a negative turn of events is very high and very dangerous, not only for Ukraine itself, but also for those European countries that have continued to hope for the important stabilizing role of the United States in the world. And now, in connection with Donald Trump's emergence on the political scene surrounded by far-right politicians and supporters, such hopes may be lost for the near future. However, the question arises in what form the troops of countries like France and Britain, specifically ground forces, may appear on the territory of Ukraine. And most importantly, when they will be able to appear, will Paris and London agree to send their troops in a situation where the Russian-Ukrainian war continues? Or on the contrary, will they wait for a ceasefire to guarantee that a new Russian attack on Ukrainian territory does not occur? But then we fall into the same trap that Vladimir Putin is skillfully preparing for Donald Trump. Why ceasefire? And end Russia's war against Ukraine. There won't be a new chance to start military actions and ultimately destroy the state that Vladimir Putin hates. It is absolutely clear that Vladimir Putin will be ready to ceasefire only if he has chances to soon start a new, even more large-scale war against Ukraine, which will ultimately end with the complete destruction of Ukrainian statehood across all Ukrainian territory. This is exactly what the West does not want to allow the Russian ruler. Yes, in the West, they are beginning to realize that they may agree to Vladimir Putin's control over the territories currently occupied by the Russian army, and over those territories that it seeks to occupy, until there is an opportunity to achieve an end to hostilities. However, neither France nor the United Kingdom would wish for the destruction of the Ukrainian state, which would be a shocking defeat, not only for European countries but also for the United States. Although it is obvious, those around Donald Trump simply do not realize this due to the limited political views of the people who will accompany the new American president during his term. Well, in such a situation, the leaders of European countries will have to determine the level of risk, as they have in recent years. Because there is little sense in hoping that Putin will allow the troops of European countries to enter Ukrainian territory. On the contrary, any decision about a ceasefire will be accompanied not only by Ukraine's refusal to participate in NATO, but also by guarantees from NATO member countries that none of their servicemen will ever be present on Ukrainian soil. Undoubtedly, Putin will insist on such an option. And if we take into account what Putin wants, then of course, there will be no troops from European countries on Ukrainian territory, no accession of Ukraine to NATO, and a new, even more large-scale and shocking Russian-Ukrainian war will occur. And therefore, European leaders, as well as the leaders of the collective West in general, need to either risk a real conflict with Vladimir Putin or not bother either themselves or us. Thank you, friends. Stay on this channel, subscribe to it, follow on social media, and on the Patreon channels Buy Me a Coffee and Donatella, which help distribute these resources. Use the sponsorship feature on YouTube itself. Victory and peace. Good luck.